네, 조금 한참대로.
Uh, in the lecture number 1, we have seen the skeleton of the paper number 10. Today, we will going to see the wave particle nature of the radiation or the light. And next chapter, we will see the wave particle nature of the matter. So before going to that, we will see the historical background of the matter wave. So first of all, we will see what is meant by light. So light or the radiation, what is meant by the light? Light or the radiation, to define this here, we will see first of all the phenomenon of the light. The first phenomenon we will going to see is nothing but interference. Interference. Interference is the phenomenon of the light in which the cancellation of the amplitude or the enhancement of the amplitude of the two waves arriving at a point is known as the interference. So for the interference, we will take the two beams of the lights. This is one beam, this is the other beam here, and these sources are the coherent sources. These two sources must be coherent. This is important. And these two rays here traveling in the same path, then interference happens, and we are getting here when these two waves arriving at this point simultaneously, then here we are getting the interference pattern, means fringes we are getting, dark and bright fringes. It may be straight fringes or it may be circular fringes are obtained here like this, or the circular fringes are obtained. Excellently observe this, and it can be explained by considering here the wave. Light is nothing but wave. So by considering here the light is nothing but wave here, we can explain the phenomenon of the interference. This is one wave, this is also the wave here we are getting. And when these two waves arriving at this point and it particularly traveling together, then the interference fringes are produced, and these interference fringes can be explained by the fact that light is nothing but wave. This is well established. It is well established that the light is nothing but what here? The wave. Similarly, we look towards the another phenomenon of the light, that is the diffraction here. The diffraction. In case of this also, this phenomenon we are knowing long back particularly. This phenomenon is we are getting nearly about 1800. 1800 we are knowing this phenomenon of the interference. Similarly, the diffraction. If the opaque obstacle is placed in the path of light like this, if suppose this is the opaque obstacle, not transparent, opaque obstacle means here obstacle is placed in the path of light. Here the light we are getting, light is incident on the opaque obstacle here. Then we are getting here we expected the geometrical shadow of the obstacle here, the geometrical shadow, and above this we are getting illuminated portion of the light. Illuminated portion we are getting. So when light is incident on the opaque obstacle, the geometrical shadow of this obstacle is expected on the screen, and above we are getting the illuminated portion. But if the size of the obstacle is comparable to the wavelength of light, if suppose this is the light giving wavelength lambda, then dimensions of the obstacle is comparable to the wavelength of the light, then it is seen that this light here bends at the edge of an obstacle and it reaches in the geometrical shadow. So some light is observed in the geometrical shadow. If the dimensions of the obstacle is comparable to the wavelength of the light, then some intensity of light is observed here, and above the illuminated portion we are getting the fringes. In this portion we are getting fringes here. This phenomenon can also be explained by considering here fringes, by considering the light is nothing but the wave. Here light is nothing but the wave, and by applying the properties of the wave, Fresnel explained the phenomenon of the diffraction. He assumed that the incident light can be thought as a plane wavefront, or here we will consider the spherical wavefront like this. Then this wavefront or the cylindrical wavefront, incident light can be thought as either plane or spherical or the cylindrical wavefront, and this wavefront is divided into large number of zones. Then each zone can be act as a what here? The source of secondary waves. So secondary waves originating from the different zones and reaches to this point particularly gives rise to the intensity of the light in the geometrical shadow, and so the in the illuminated portion we are getting the fringes. That fringes can also be explained on the basis of the Fresnel theory. So Fresnel assumed Huygens wave theory. In addition to the Huygens wave theory, some assumptions are made, and this the phenomenon of the diffraction is explained. So in this experiment, it is well established that the light is nothing but, or the radiation nothing but what here? The wave. So first definition comes into focus, that is light is nothing but what here? The wave. And this is the first definition, and it is based on purely the classical ideas. It is known as the classical theory. It is known as the classical theory. Classical theory. So by using the classical theory, it can be explained. Similarly, the phenomenon of the polarization, phenomenon of the double refraction, those are also the phenomenon of the light, and those phenomena we are knowing long back and can be explained by considering the light is nothing but the wave. But we look towards now the another phenomenon of the light. For example, photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. We are not going to details of this, but just how the definition of the radiation comes into account. So photoelectric effect. So when light of proper wavelength, light when proper wavelength is incident on the thin coil, here the thin coil of the metals like this, then the electrons are emitted from the surface of the metal. Electrons are emitted from the surface of the metal. Suppose this is the electron, single electron now say. When the intensity of the incident light increases, number of electrons emitted from the surface of the metal also increases. So electrons are ejected in this process, and this electron is known as the photoelectron. This is photoelectron. This is the effect, photoelectric effect. This effect is observed experimentally. But to explain this effect here, if we take here the wave nature of the light, here wave nature of the light, then this effect is not explained in those days. This effect is not explained until 1905. Until 1905. So what happened at 1905? That we are going to learn here. So, but this is the light phenomenon, and by considering this effect is observed but not explained by considering this definition, light is nothing but wave, and by applying the properties of the wave and by applying the classical laws, this effect is not explained particularly. So we look towards the another effect, what we call as the Crompton effect. This is also the light phenomenon. Crompton effect. Crompton effect. In this effect also, if the light is incident on the thin coil, after scattering, this is thin coil, and if light is incident here, light giving, suppose the wavelength lambda is incident here, after scattering here, the wavelength changes. It is observed that here, if the wavelength not changes, it is known as the Thomson scattering, but if wavelength changes is also observed in some cases when the light of proper wavelength is incident here, the change in wavelength after scattering is observed, and also how much change is observed, that is delta lambda is equal to lambda dash minus lambda, is also experimentally known. To explain this theoretically here, the light can be considered because all these effects are explained by considering the wave characteristics. Similarly, this effect, to explain this effect, light is considered as a wave. But this effect is not explained by considering the light as a wave here. So Crompton effect is not explained in those days, and so effect is observed but not explained. Similarly, in case of black body radiations, the difficulty arises in those days. What is the black body? The body which absorbs all heat energy falling on it. If suppose this is the black body, then it absorbs all heat energy falling on it. Such a body is known as black body. And according to Kirchhoff's law, it is found that here, the good absorbers are the good emitters. As the black body absorbs all heat energy, this is the black body, and it absorbs all heat energy falling on it here. This is good absorber. But this also the good emitter according to Kirchhoff's law. Good absorbers are the good emitters and bad absorbers are the bad emitters. So, if the black body is kept at temperature greater than the room temperature, say, then according to Prevost heat exchange theory, there is exchange of heat between, or the radiation between this black body and the surrounding. This is the surrounding particularly. And until there will be exchange of heat between black body and the radiation until equilibrium is reached here. So energy emitted by the black body, here, energy emitted by the black body per unit area, suppose like this, per unit time is known as emissive power. Is known as what here? The emissive power. People are trying to establish the relationship between the emissive power of the black body and the temperature of it. The first attempt is given by the Stephan, and then it is known as he found that first attempt is made by Stephan here in nearly about 1893. In nearly about what year? 1893. Stephan's first attempt is given by the Stephan to establish the relationship between emissive power of the black body and the temperature. He found that the energy emitted by the black body is directly proportional to the fourth power of the temperature. And this is known as, or it can be regarded as, E Stephan constant using proportionality constant. It is the sigma into T to the power 4. Here sigma is Stephan's constant, and this is known as Stephan's fourth power. It is known as the Stephan's fourth power law. It is known as Stephan's fourth power law. But it is observed that this law is hold for the particular range of temperature. As far as we are getting here the temperature range, if suppose this is the temperature range starting from 0 to infinity, say here, but this law, Stephan's law, is hold only in the particular region. Here Stephan's law is valid. Here is Stephan's law is valid. At higher temperatures and at lower temperatures, law deviates. Therefore, the second attempt is made by Wiens. Second attempt is made by the Wiens in nearly about Stephan's law is given in 1893, and the Wiens law is nearly about 1800 somewhat, 1895, for example, not exactly, but nearly about this here. He stated that the energy emitted by the body, here is also, Stephen considered that this is nothing but what here, this is all the energy is emitted at the temperature giving the same wavelength, but here we assumed that the wavelength here the emitted by the black body depends on the temperature. If temperature changes, here the wavelength also changes. The wavelength also changes at different temperatures. Here the wavelength also changes like this here. So it also emission power of the black body depends on here the wavelength of the body, means it also emission power depends on some function of wavelength as well as temperature. Temperature changes, this wavelength changes. Stephens is not account for the wavelength, and therefore this law may be deviates here at the low temperatures and the high temperatures. So Wien's second attempt is given by the Wiens. He found that here the emission power of the black body is directly proportional to the fifth power of the temperature. Fifth power of the temperature, he showed that. Also he shown that here the emission power of the black body into emission power of the black body, here he also shown that the product of the wavelength and the temperature is found to be equal to constant. Is found to be equal to what here? The constant here. These laws are known as Wien's displacement laws. These two laws are known as Wien's displacement laws. The emission power of the black body is directly proportional to the fifth power of the temperature, and also he found that the product of the wavelength and the temperature is found to be some constant here. The constant, what we call as the K. And by combining these two equations, Wien's displacement laws, two equations, here he obtained the energy emitted by the black body in the wavelength range, d lambda, lambda and lambda plus d lambda, lambda and lambda plus d lambda. The energy emitted by the black body in the wavelength range d lambda is dE, and he found that here some constant into lambda to the power minus 5 into function of lambda into t, lambda and t, function of lambda and t, and these functions is found to be means k into lambda to the power minus 5 into e to the power minus a divided by the lambda t here. So this is the energy emitted by the black body into d lambda here. The energy emitted by the black body in the wavelength range d lambda is given by this, and this is the Wien's displacement law. It is found that this law here is true. This law is true for here this law is true only for the shorter wavelengths. This law is only true for the shorter wavelengths. Shorter wavelengths means if suppose we will take here the like this at temperature T, here is wavelength range, this is the temperature range. If suppose this is the wavelength range, then the wavelength is starting from here also going from lambda, here is suppose the lambda, and the lambda is also ranging from 0 to here is suppose infinity, say this is the wavelength range. Then it is also true for in this middle region Stephens law is valid. Stephens law is valid, but for shorter wavelengths this law is true. Shorter wavelengths, this is the shorter wavelengths we are getting here the Wien's law. Wien's law is gives the distribution of the energy and temperature relation, Wien's law, and it is true for the low temperature sites. But in case of the higher temperature sites, this law deviates, and therefore the third atom is given by the Rayleigh and Jeans gives the third law here, third law. He applied the law of equipartition of energy and classical thermodynamics and so on, and he also obtained the relation energy emitted by the black body in the temperature in the wavelength range d lambda is found to be equal to some constant, that is b, into lambda to the power -4 into some function of wavelength and the time here. So this comes out to be some constant lambda to the power -4 into e to the power again -a divided by the lambda t into d lambda. So this is the Rayleigh-Jeans law. Rayleigh-Jeans law particularly. So, and this is valid in the range, in this range, in the high temperature range. Rayleigh-Jeans law is valid particularly. So in the as far as the whole temperature range is concerned here, to give the relation between emission power and the temperature and the wavelength here, three different laws are established. This law is valid only for the high temperatures, but not applied for this region. Stephen's law is applied for the middle region somewhere, and the Wien's law is applied for the lower temperature side. So difficulty arises. There is no unique equation to explain whatever the temperature of the black body, emissive power of the black body depends on the temperature and the wavelength, not explained by the unique equation. There are so many equations. So there may be some particularly wrong in the thoughts, and this all depends on the light energy emitted by the black body is continuous here. The wavelength frequency are different, but the energy emitted by the black body is continuous, is in the form of wave. Like this definition is taken into account. Light is, or the radiation is nothing but wave, and by applying the classical electrodynamics, Maxwell distributions, equipartition of energies law, and he developed all these, but none of them explain the whole range of temperature and the wavelength. And therefore, in 1905, Planck put forth the theory, another theory to explain the difficulties in the black body radiation. Planck in 1905 assumed that the energy emitted by the black body, suppose this is the black body, and energy emitted by the black body is not continuous or wave-like as assumed in those scientists, but it is integral multiple of some packets like this, some packets, discrete packets. Here, the energy emitted by the black body is not continuous, but it is integral multiple of some packets. Each packet is known as the quanta, it is known as quanta heaving the energy h mu, So according to which is known as here the Planck's quantum theory. Planck's quantum theory is announced. Planck's quantum theory particularly, because this theory is given by the Planck, suggested by the Planck in 1905. Energy emitted by the black body is not continuous, but it is a discrete one. It is in the form of some packets, and each packet is known as quanta having the energy h mu here. So it can be act as a energy emitted by the body is not wave-like, but it is in the form of particles. Here, particle is known as quanta and having the energy h mu, and he established the relation. The energy emitted by the body in the wavelength range, it will be equal to d is equal to some constant 8 pi sc, that found to be equal to 8 pi lambda to the power -4 h mu, and some function of lambda t. It is actually function of lambda t, and this comes out to be 8 pi lambda to the power -4 into this function is found to be equal to h mu divided by e to the power h mu divided by kt. K is Boltzmann constant, minus 1. So this into d lambda, into d lambda. So energy distribution obtained by considering the particle nature here, d is equal to like this. This is known as the Planck's law, and Planck's law is valid for whole range of temperature starting from 0 to infinity. You have to put any temperature, you are getting emission power calculated by this formula and obtained by experimentally are verified, and therefore the quantum theory is accepted in 1905. Then the unsolved problems earlier, in case of photoelectric effect, Crompton effect, difficulty arises in the atomic models, are then solved by considering what here this quantum theory means. For example, if suppose this is the energy emitted by the photon, light photon is incident here, the electrons are emitted from the surface of the metal, it is known as photoelectric effect. This effect is also formed. This light can be thought as a particle, it is not continuous, but this is emitted by what here, like these photons. Then this is one photon, this is another photon. Light can be considered as a photon. Then this effect is explained, Crompton effect is explained, and so on. Therefore, the second definition of the wave is come into focus. The radiation is nothing but what here? The particle. It is nothing but particle. This is the second definition, and it depends on the quantum theory. It depends on what here? The quantum theory particularly. So today what we have seen is that the what is nothing but light or the radiation, it is nothing but, it sometimes behave as a wave, it sometimes behave as a particle. So the radiation has the dual nature, wave light as well as the particle light. So you have to remember, the radiation or the light has the dual nature. First nature is observed, that is wave light, and then in 1905 the another nature is also observed, that is nothing but the particle nature. And on the basis of these guidelines, De Broglie put forth very bold and novel suggestion that we will see in the next lecture. Okay, thank you.